Sure.
Said in North Carolina and yet again Friday night.
I can't
Our
stand this
primary
lady.
focus is not to get out the vote. It's to make sure they don't cheat. Because we have all the votes you need. You can
True.
see it.
Why is Donald Trump casting doubt on the election before it's even...
Because it was voter frauded in 2020. Because you voter frauded us in 2020. It's why we're all so miserable currently.
Let's move on to something that Donald Trump
Sure.
said in North Carolina and yet again Friday night.
Our primary focus is not to get out the vote. It's to make sure they don't cheat.
We are literally watching you cheat at the Do Not Resuscitate DNC convention. You don't have a convention where you don't talk about policy because policy turns people away, because what you really want to tell people is that you're going to continue to keep the border open and that you're going to raise taxes in the middle class. You know that you emptied our refrigerators for food so that influencers could sit in the suites that cost six figures and feed them alcohol so that they could deteriorate our existence, while you all in the DNC, which are all specially invited individuals. These aren't people just fans of Kamala. No, these are all delegates from across the country. Those people are the ones whose refrigerators are full. And the reason why that you didn't talk policy at the DNC is because you were fearful that your low numbers were going to get lower, which is why all you did was promise people joy and happiness. Well, I'm not joyful, nor am I happiness, and you've been in office for 4 years. That would be Kamala Harris. And you constantly throughout the DNC create a reaction to Donald Trump. That's not fair or freedom. That's control to an audience.
Donald Trump casting doubt on the election before it's even happened.
I don't think that's what Donald Trump's doing.
Well, that's what he's doing. That's what he says here. We need to make sure they don't cheat.
I think that what he's saying is that we want to pursue a set of policies in the Republican Party that make it easier for every legal ballot to be cast and counted, but make it harder for illegally cast ballots to be counted. Now,
He's such an optimist. It's really making me mad. Don't even go there. He's lying. He's not lying, but he's an optimist. Don't run with that story either. He's an optimist. He believes in America and he believes in the American people, and I don't believe in any of you. I don't believe in the justice system. I don't believe in influencer. I don't believe in all this shit and jargon that I grew up with. It doesn't exist any longer. Doesn't exist any longer because of Christina from NBC News. Because her life is more valuable than my life. And that's the true story about what it's like working with women like Christina. And then we have great leaders like JD Vance to try to calm me down in a situation that is unfair and unreasonable so that she can look cool in her high heels, while she tries to bash out so that she can look good on her news broadcast channel.
we can disagree about how many of those there are, whether there are a few hundred, a few thousand, maybe more. But just in the last week, okay, so just in the last week, once in Arizona and once in Pennsylvania, there were major court wins that make our ballot process more secure and more effective. I think that's what Donald Trump is.
And then she tries to steal his... Then she tries to steal him away from me. And that ain't gonna happen.
Talking about is we have to pursue, sometimes through litigation, sometimes through better policy at the state or national level, a set of rules that make sure every ballot is legal.
And that's actual factual. Actual factual is a word, yes. And so why they play these clandestine games of media, and it really is as simple as take a look at where my pen is. Now take a look at where it is. Now take a look at where it is. Now take a look at where it is. Now take a look at how I'm drawing it. Is it a circle or is it an oval? Well, I can definitely bend it into an oval. But we want it to be a circle. Make it a circle. And that's pretty much how they try to create a narrative An oval and a circle are similar, but an oval is a little more longer than a circle, but they're kind of the same. That's how they paint the narrative of the news.
Be counted.
Well, it's very different from your message, which is you said, and I'll quote you back to yourself, we have to work as hard as possible to persuade Americans to vote for us. Are you on the same?
We have to work hard to persuade you to wake up and vote for us because we are the key to saving the planet. Because that's the only way that people win in politics, because you're not intelligent. Because you like hoopla and drama and your lives are miserable and you think that that brings happiness, but it actually brings you more misery.
Page is Donald Trump because, again, he seems to be casting doubt on the results of the election before.
Not true.
Of course,
he knows that we're going to win.
And Paige, Kristen, we talk all the time, and I guarantee you, if you sat here and said, Mr. President,
Stand, Christina.
do you believe that we need to do, that your campaign needs to persuade voters as much as possible? Of course he's going to say yes. That's not inconsistent with thinking that we need to pursue a set of approaches that make sure legal ballots get counted, illegal ballots don't get counted.
Illegal ballots don't get counted. That means they were counted in 2020, and legal ballots get counted, meaning my ballot did not get counted.
You have faith the 2024 election will be free and fair?
I do, Kristen. I do think it's going to be.
We have that belief system because we have Laura Trump and others like her on the game. It's not the game.
Pathway to make sure, again, legal ballots get counted. But I feel very good about where we are. I think we're going to win this race, and I think we're going to win it in a very good election.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about
Thanks for watching
NBC News app.
NBC News. And I'm NBC. I'm NBC. And that's how you sound. Thanks for watching. Let's see. Should we continue? I'm not sure. Says he will not absolutely commit to not. JD Vance defends RFK's Jr.'s Trump endorsement. So that was pretty easy. It's pretty much common sense. You don't actually ever ask anything of value. Let's bring JD Vance in, and I'm going to ask him some questions. I'm going to ask him two questions. Let me think about the election fraud. JD Vance, do you believe in election fraud? And how does somebody go about doing election fraud? And can you tell us some things that we as voters can do to prevent election fraud? Because at CBV News, what we are very much focused on is ensuring that our voters, who are important citizens to the United States of America, how can we assist in preventing voter fraud? I did notice that Donald Trump seems to be concerned about casting votes. Is there suspicion behind the scenes that you are not allowed to say in voter fraud? That would be a thumbs up that he's not allowed to say. And so what you're saying without saying it, which this is me asking the question again to get the answers as a reporter. So what you're saying is that Donald Trump said that we must have fair elections and we must have real votes counted and not fraudulent votes. Is that what you're saying? That makes sense. I definitely agree. So now you can see how I didn't actually tell you that there was voter fraud, but we actually told you exactly that there was voter fraud. Man, I'm good at this, aren't I?